Okay, now we shall see about the distributed system. So this distributed system topic has already been taken by your friends. I will give a quick recap of what we have seen in these topics. Okay, first we'll see about the distributed system. So what do you mean by distributed system? So distributed system means we'll be having several processor. Processor means is nothing but just inside our central processing unit. Okay, as well as not only your computer system can be connected in distributed system, also your laptop, also your smartphone, tablet, or PDAs, all those things can be connected in distributed system. Okay, so for that only we are having distributed system, which is a collection of processor. So in that processor, they do not share the memory. Okay, நம்ம என்ன சொல்றோம் distributed systemனா ஸோ அந்த ப்ராசஸஸ் எல்லாத்தையோட கனெக்ஷன் தான் distributed systemனு சொல்றோம். ஸோ அதில் வந்து என்ன பண்ண மாட்டாங்க, they won't share memory, also the clock cycle. So if you see this microprocessor and microcontroller subject and all, we'll be studying about some processor 8085 and all. So in that if you see, to function a microprocessor, it requires a clock signal. Similar to your flip-flop and all. We'll be giving a clock signal in case of counter like that. So likewise, this processor also requires some clock signal. So this all these processor, so this clock signal only determines the speed of the processor. Okay. So in a distributed system, we'll be having different processor which are connected, and all those processor won't share the common memory. So என்ன பண்ண மாட்டாங்க, மெமரியை ஷேர் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. கிளாக் சிக்னலுக்கும் எல்லாத்துக்குமே டிஃப்ரெண்டா தான் இருக்கும். ஸோ இன்ஸ்டெட் என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, ஈச் ப்ராசஸர் will have its own local memory. So each and every processor has its own memory. It doesn't share its memory. And then for communicating, so we are going for distributed system and all for communicating between different processor. So adala communication eppadi nadakumna through the high speed buses or some telephone lines. Okay, all these will provide the communication. So internet can be provided by means of wired or wireless. So in this case, if you see means they are saying they will be connected by means of high speed bus or telephone lines. Telephone lines means I hope will be aware of this BSNL modem connection, which may be connected to a landline phone like that and all. We may have communication between different systems. Okay, through optical fiber cable, different okay, this is what how an distributed system will be. And then if you see means why do we need this distributed system? It is for communication. Here this example already Padma Preeti told, you will be having different sites. Here there are 3 sites, site A, site B and site C. So each one will have its own resources. And those resources may be shared between different sites. The site is nothing but your computing nodes. Okay. It may be a computer system or laptop system or tablet like that. And the communication may be happening through the communication will be through some network. Okay, the site which is requesting the resource from another site is known as client, and the site which provides the request is known as server. So thus the server and client server communication will be happening in this distributed system. Like this, they can share the resources as well as some processes will be shared between the computing nodes in the distributed system. So what is the reason to have this distributed system means for resource sharing purpose. So by this, all the systems will be connected, so they can capable of sharing the resources through the communication network provided in between them. Also, they can have high speed. So we will see all these advantages in detail, okay? Then reliability, then communication. So first, if you see resource sharing means, so in resource sharing, in the previous example itself we saw, we are having site A and site B. Site A and site B wants to share some resource. Then those resources can be transferred over the provided network. Thus, the resource may be shared in distributed system. So we can share the files or some process, as well as we can share some printing files also. Distributed system, if you see, means many computer system may be connected, and there for a 10 set of computer system, we may have one printer, and that system may be at another end, or in some remote places it can be in somewhere. So if it wants to communicate, it will share its file to the system which is connected to the printer. Through that we can print that particular file. Okay, so all these are possible by means of resource sharing. The next we see about computation speed up. So why we are saying computation speed up means, so we said in the distributed system several processors will be connected. So what we can do means, if you want to do some work means, what we can do, we can divide that work into, if 5 different systems are connected in a distributed system means, if I want to do some particular process, so that process can be divided into 5 subtasks, and it can be divided to 5 each and every processor. So 5 processor நம்ம என்ன பண்ணிக்கலாம், we can divide it and we can give it. So all these computations may be divided into sub computations, and these sub computations may be performed at various sites. Okay, so for example, we are dividing a particular job into 5 different work, okay, and allocating to each and every process. If one site is heavily loaded, so ஒரே ஒரு ப்ராசஸ்க்கு நம்ம நிறைய ஒர்க் கொடுத்தோம்னா என்ன ஆகும், ஸோ அப்போ அந்த ப்ராசஸ்ல நிறைய டம்ப் பண்ற மாதிரி இருக்கும். ஸோ நம்ம ஈவனா, ஸோ இது சேம், ஸோ ஒரு பர்சன் ஒரு ஒர்க் பண்றதுக்கு இட் மே டேக் 10 days, but if 5 persons combine to do a work, then it will take only 2 days for completing the work. So similarly, distributed system என்ன பண்றோம், ஸோ ஒரு டாஸ்க் இருக்குன்னா that task is divided into 5 different subtasks or n different subtasks, and it is given to all those processor. So இந்த மாதிரி divide பண்ணி கொடுக்கும்போது there won't be a problem, because we can share the resources. நம்ம ரிசோர்ஸ் ஷேர் பண்ணிக்கலாம், ஒரு சிஸ்டம்ல ரிசோர்ஸ் இன்னொருத்தங்க யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி நம்ம ப்ரொவைட் பண்றதுனால there won't be resource sharing problem and all, as well as the computation will be speeding up. So அதான், so 5 systems அதே job பண்ணும்போது it will be completed in 2 days itself, rather than using a one system for performing the same job may take 10 days for completing. Like that, we can divide a particular job into several parts, and it can be given to several sites. Okay, so அந்த மாதிரி டிவைட் பண்ணும்போது a particular site may be overloaded. So ஒரே ஒரு ப்ராசஸர்க்கே நம்ம நிறைய ஜாப்ஸ் கொடுத்தோம்னா என்ன ஆகும், ஸோ the ப்ராசஸோட பெர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் ஸ்லோ ஆகும். ஸோ அது எல்லா ஜாப்ஸுமே அந்த ஒரே ப்ராசஸ் தான் கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ற மாதிரி இருக்கும். ஸோ அதை தான் என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா ஹெவிலி லோடட் சைட். ஸோ ஃபார் தேட் வில் பி கோயிங் ஃபார் லோட் ஷேரிங் மெக்கானிசம். ஆல்ரெடி அந்த சிஸ்டம்க்கு நிறைய ப்ராசஸ் இருந்ததுன்னா வில் பி ஷேரிங் த லோட்ஸ் டு டிஃப்ரெண்ட் சைட்ஸ். ஓகே, that will be done by means of distributed system. The next, if you see reliability. So as we said in distributed system, we are having a number of systems connected to a network. So அப்போ distributed systemல நம்ம ஒரு டாஸ்க் 5 டிவைட் பண்ணி நம்ம each and every processorக்கு கொடுக்குறோம். So அப்போ ஏதாவது ஒரு processor fail ஆச்சுன்னா the process given to that processor can be given to some other processor, and they can continue its operation. So systemல எந்த failure இருந்தாலும் it can be detected. So ஒரு particular processorல எந்த ஒரு failure இருந்தா it can be detected, and it can be carried out by some other process in distributed system. So that we are saying this distributed system is reliable. So all these are the advantages of the distributed system: reliability, computation speed up, resource sharing, and communication. Okay, so in distributed system it is possible for communicating with different computing nodes. That is, message can be passed. How a message can be passed in a single computer system to another. Likewise, in the distributed system, message can be passed very easily. For that only, we are using this remote procedure calls and all. I hope this remote procedure calls are said by Priyadarshini in detail in her video. You all might have aware of it. So in communication, what all we can do means we can transfer a file from one system to another, or we can log in into another system from a particular site. For example, a site A wants to log in into the site B, it can be done if it is connected in a distributed system. As well as we can open a mail from one system to another. Okay, so all these can be done. All these type of communications can be done. So these functions can be carried out over several distance. So you can be here in this India, and you can be in some other in America, and you can do all these type of communications if you are having this distributed system. Okay. So the advantages means we can collaborate over distance. So the computing system may be separated by distance, but we can collaborate the work across it. Okay. So all these types of computing environment is possible in distributed system. So till now we saw about what do you mean by distributed system, and why we need distributed system, or the advantages of distributed system. Next we'll see about the types of network based operating system. So for all these network connection, so we need an operating system. That only we are saying it is network based operating system. It is of two types. One is network operating system, another one is distributed operating system. You'll see each type. So this network operating system is simpler to implement. So for in implement wise, it is simpler to implement, but it is more difficult for user to access when compared to the distributed operating system. It is simple to implement, but it is somewhat difficult for the user to access. Okay. So here also we are having several computing system. So all these computing system can be connected to each other and can access the remote resources. Remote resource means the resource to another computer can be accessed by another computer. Okay, that is possible here. In this remote operating system, how this remote access is done means by means of remote login. So this remote login uses telnet facility. Okay, for this telnet facility, for example, you see here this example telnet CS, the CS ala.edu. So this is something at site. Using this telnet facility, we can provide a socket connection between this local machine and this website. Okay, this website can be in somewhere location. Okay, so the website வந்து ஒரு காலேஜோட வெப்சைட்டா இருக்கலாம். ஸோ அந்த காலேஜோட வெப்சைட்க்கும் நீங்க ரிமோட் எண்ட்ல இருக்கிற ஒரு சிஸ்டம்ல இருந்து நீங்க என்ன பண்ணிக்கலாம், கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். யூ கேன் ஆக்சஸ் த ரிசோர்ஸ் ஆஃப் திஸ் பர்டிகுலர் காலேஜ் by means of this telnet facility. Okay, that is they are providing a socket connection. It can be a bidirectional connection. You can also send some data to the website. You can upload some files in the website. Also you can retrieve, you can download some data from that website. So all these are possible by means of a remote login. See in our college itself we are having this ERP. In student ERP, what you're doing, you are uploading. So in student ERP you don't upload, but in some other cases in our login and all we can upload some files and we can download some files. So all these can be happened by means of remote login. For that the user must have a username and a password. So like that this network operating system provides remote login from anywhere. We can access the resources of a particular institution. It is provided through that website. Okay, this is remote login. And next, if you see remote file transfer. For this remote file transfer, they are using a file transfer protocol. Okay. So here also anyone can access the resource of a particular institution provided by a website. So using that they can get the resources or they can share the resources. So get pannalam. They can get the resource from a remote machine. So one computer system and non computer machine system, they can get the resources, they can upload the resource, they can list all of the directories available in a particular system, as well as they can change the directory. So all these operations you might have seen in some Unix machine and all. Unix system la use பண்ணீங்கன்னா இந்த மாதிரி commands la நீங்க பார்த்திருப்பீங்க Unix or Linux la get put ls dir cd. So in the Windows also we can use this access by using this telnet facility. Okay, so till now we saw about this network operating system. Now we will see about this distributed operating system. So it only has several advantages over network operating system. So here how the user can access the resource means as their own resource. So ஒரு computer system வந்து அவங்களோட own resource access பண்ற மாதிரி என்ன பண்ணிக்கலாம், access பண்ணிக்கலாம். For this only they are having this data migration, process migration, and this data migration and process migration is all under the control of the distributed operating system only controls this data migration and process migration. So these two topics also dealt in detail by your friends. So data migration, what is transferred? Data is transferred from one system to another system. For example, if you want to access a file from another system, say A, this B system wants to access a file from A system, means what can be done? The whole file can be transferred. If you want to access a particular part of the file, then that data only can be used in the site B. So that is data migration. So the next one is computation migration. Like accessing the data also, this computation can also be done from another system. For this purpose only, they are using this RPC, remote procedure call. It's a very important one. So this one is done by means of protocol. It's a datagram protocol, that is UDP. So all these things were explained. This RPC were explained by Prideshni. Hope everyone might have seen this video. Next is process migration. So process migration means, in the previous case, in data and computation migration, we have performed we have obtained the data from another system to one system, and in computation migration, the computation needed to be performed can be done in another system. In process migration, the process which need to be utilized by another system may be migrated. These all is done by distributed operating system, because distributed operating system has a control of all these migrations and all. So here we are having load balancing, because in this process migration, we are going to do a process belonging to some other system in our system. So in our system itself, we may have several processes to be done. So in that case, they may have a highly loaded system. So our system may be overloaded. So for that, we'll be using that load balancing. So load balancing என்னன்னா, so நம்ம சிஸ்டம்லயே நம்ம நிறைய ப்ராசஸ் பண்ண வேண்டியதா இருக்கும். ஸோ இன்னொரு சிஸ்டம்ல இருந்து நம்ம வேற ஏதாவது ப்ராசஸ் நம்ம அப்டைன் பண்ணி ஸோ அதை கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணணும்னா we need this load balancing mechanism. So using this only, we can have uniform workload in all the systems. Okay, so even workload means, so it doesn't affect our computation speed up. Okay, so why we are performing this process migration? So for example, a computer system A doesn't have the hardware for performing that particular process. So அப்ப என்ன பண்ணலாம்? So அந்த process run பண்றதுக்கு அந்த hardware resources வந்து அந்த systemல இல்ல. So at that time, it can be migrated to another system B. So in that system B, if it has the necessary hardware for performing that particular function, means it can be performed. Those process can be performed. So அந்த process perform பண்ணும்போது, so அந்த system குள்ள process என்ன பண்ணிக்கலாம்? It can be migrated to the system A. And also for software preference. So in a particular system only, these types of software is available. So in that case also, you can migrate the process. Okay. So for all these things only, we are using this data migration, computation migration, and process migration. Okay, next, if you see the network structure, this network structure also was briefed in detail about. Muthumalar has said about this network structure, local area network and wide area network. For small areas, for covering the small areas, we'll be using LAN. For covering the large areas, we'll be using WAN. So in this LAN, we are having bus connection, ring connection, star network. So all these are also said by her. So in this LAN connection means she had said with an example Ethernet cable also. So if you have this Ethernet protocol, we'll be having speed of 10 Mbps or 100 Mbps, but it is limited to some distance only. So here, if we are using this LAN connection, that is for Ethernet, we'll be having a gateway. So through this gateway, several application server, and the peripheral devices, the printer, the file server, or the workstation, there's a personal computer, all those can be connected through the bus in case of this LAN network through this Ethernet. So in this LAN only, this Wi-Fi also come, but this Wi-Fi is wireless technology. Ethernet is wired. Okay. So if we compare the Ethernet and Wi-Fi means Wi-Fi will be slower while compared to Ethernet because we are preferring this wireless means there will be some slow in performance compared to the wired Ethernet. So here in this case, what plays a major role means the distance between the wireless router and the host will have an impact on the speed of the network communication. That is, if we use in our college itself, you might have seen. We'll all go to the place where this router is available. Near that only you will be downloading several files and all. So the performance or the speed will be high. If you are going near the host and if you are using your laptop or mobile phone for downloading some large files and all, if we are far away from this router and all, our speed will be very less. So it may take more time for downloading or accessing this several sites also. The next one is wide area network. So this wide area network is also shared by Muthumalar. So here, this various sites, this various communication processor will be accessed by means of a network that is within the host operating system. That is, a user process may be accessed through this wide area network. So here in this wide area network, we are using wireless connection. So the point-to-point connections will be over long haul lines. We may also use wired connection. That is, you may aware of this BSNL landline connection. With that BSNL landline connection, you may have some modem, and you'll be having network connection. Okay. So that is also will be coming under this band only. And here the speed will be slower compared to the LAN, because in LAN it is wired using Ethernet. Here the speed will be 1.54 to 45 Mbps. But nowadays, several technology has come. We are using this 4G technologies and all. So we are having a high-speed communication between several computing nodes. We see the network topology. So we are having several network topology. There is a bus topology, star topology, ring topology and all. So why we are having these several topology means to choose based upon our application, because we may have several impact on installation cost, communication cost, availability and reliability. So installation cost means so for all those wiring between the different computer system may consume a large amount. So depending upon of our application, we have to choose which type of topology will be preferred. If you are preferring low cost means you'll be choosing the low cost one. See, I have given here in the slide. The first one is a fully connected network. See, here we are having several nodes A, B, C, D, E, F. So in all these nodes, there's connection between each other. see in partial connection nodes. So not all the nodes are connected to each other. So next we are having tree structure nodes. So it is similar to your binary tree which you might have studied. Then in star network, we'll be having a central hub and it will be connected to several nodes. And ring network, all those nodes will be connected in a ring structure. Okay. See here itself, you can say the installation cost will be very maximum for this fully connected network, because in those connection we need several wired connections or several. Okay, wired or wireless connection will be there in the system. So for establishing all these connection between all the different nodes, the installation cost will be very high. Okay, so only depending upon our application. If you want high speed, you don't bother about the cost and all, you may go for this fully connected network. Okay, that is based upon our application, we'll be preferring any one of the topologies. So here, based on the cost, this installation cost or communication cost, they have given here. So I have said about this installation cost. So what do you mean by communication cost and availability means? So communication cost means the time taken for communicating between a particular node to another node. Okay, there is a communication cost. So speed wise means if you want high speed means there is a communication cost will be very high. The speed அதிகமா இருந்தா the communication cost என்ன ஆகும் அதிகமாகும். Then availability or reliability, that is in case of if a particular link. So see in that connection role we saw the link. Link means we are having A node and B node. So those two nodes will be connected by a link. So there may be a chance for node failure or the link failure. Node failure means the system வந்து என்ன ஆகும் ஃபெயில் ஆகுது node failure. Link failure என்னது, so the communication link fail ஆகுது. So இந்த மாதிரி அந்த system fail ஆனாலும் அந்த communication link fail ஆனாலும் நம்மளுக்கு என்ன ஆகணும், இந்த கம்யூனிகேஷன்ல எந்த ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் இல்லாம there should be a smooth communication. So for all these things, so depending upon our application only, we'll be choosing this network topology. So here if you see means for installation cost, if you want a low installation cost means generally we will be preferring tree structure network. Okay, because it doesn't consume much cost for this installation itself. If you don't worry about the installation cost, whether it may be high, then we'll be preferring fully connected network. Then the communication cost. Communications cost means how fast the message is transmitted. Okay, so here for this, the communication cost will be low for tree structure network. So the communication cost is also low and the installation cost is also low. And if we see the availability for tree structure network means it is also will be low, because in tree structure we'll be having a root node and then we'll be having a parent-child relationship between all those nodes. Okay, so if a particular parent node fails means those child nodes can't be communicated with the root node. Okay, so there will be a lower availability. So if you want a low cost, low installation cost, low communication cost, and if you won't worry about this availability and all, you can prefer this tree structure network. Okay, so for this star network also communication cost will be low. That is for transferring a file data between the communicating nodes will be low for star network also, because in star network we'll be having a central hub. So if a central hub is named as A means we are having several B, C, D, E. So if a B wants to communicate to C means this B will send the data to the central hub A, and that central hub A only will transfer the data to C. Likewise, we'll be having connection in or communication in star network. So our communication cost also will be low for this star network and it will be a high for ring network. So ring network la enna pandrom? So A, B, C, D up to E வரைக்கும் இருக்கு. It will be connected in a ring structure. If A wants to communicate with D, so then it needs to cross A to B போகணும், B ல இருந்து எங்க போகணும்? C, and after that only it needs to go to D. So there is high communication cost. Okay, in ring structure, so ஒரு 5 systems connect பண்ணியிருந்தா problem இல்ல. If you are having 10 systems connected in a ring structure means, if the first system wants to communicate to the 7th system, then what it needs to go? It needs to go from first system to the 7th system, or in the reverse direction also it needs to cross 4 system. So in that case, the communication cost for ring network is high. We see the availability. For ring networks, the availability is very high. So we said in the ring networks, all the computing system will be connected in a ring structure. So in that case, if you see means, if a particular node connected in the ring structure fails means, that node can be removed and the connection may be established to the remaining one. Okay. So all these we have already seen in the seminar also. And next, if we see about the communication structure. So how this communication is established between different computing nodes. For this communication structure, what all we need means, we need this naming and name resolution. So naming and naming resolution means, so we want to communicate between several computing nodes. For that, we need a name for each and every node. See, for example, to understand itself, I am naming the node as A and B. For this communication over the network, each and every computer system should have a name. So we will see that naming resolution and all. Then we'll see about the routing strategy. That is how the messages will be sent through the network. In what route it may be sent. Then if you see packet strategy means, so we are going to send the messages through the network. So how these messages will be sent in terms of fragments or in a whole program, like that we will see in packet strategies. And then if you see in connection strategies means, how these processes will be transmitted, and from the transmitter to receiver, how the messages will be sent. It is sent in terms of packets. There is a one process is divided into several packets means, so on the reception side, we need to have the sequence of messages. So how this connection strategies is established, and then this contention, I will explain in the detail itself, okay? So we can see the communication structure one by one. First, we'll see about the naming and name resolution. There is each process will have an identifier. This we have seen already. So over process will be have a process ID. So in communication, what will be the components of this process identifier means, we have to identify the process on a remote process. So நம்ம processல நம்ம processக்கு ஒரு ID இருக்கும். Okay. So வேற ஒரு system போகும்போது, we have to include an additional component, that is host name. Host system means it is a system which is going to send this process to another system. That is host system. Host system என்னது? So இந்த systemல இருந்து the process இன்னொரு சிஸ்டம்க்கு நம்ம சென்ட் பண்ண போறோம்னா, so எந்த சிஸ்டம் அந்த ப்ராசஸ் சென்ட் பண்றாங்களோ, so அதுதான் host system. So that system will have a name, that is host name. Okay, and that identifier is nothing but the process ID. Okay. The host name will be the host ID. There's a computer system will have a ID and the process will have a ID. All those will be transmitted for communication. So here for this naming and through communication structure, we are having domain name service. See, if you normally see, we'll be having an IP address. IP address means in this browser search box and all, you might have seen some numbers. Rather than using this website name and all, for our college website itself, you see nec.edu.in. Rather than using it, you can also use that IP address directly, 192.100.101 point something. Okay, like this, we are having the IP address of our college website also. You can use that IP address also. Using this domain name service, we can convert that IP address into a website. So only, so இந்த மாதிரி IP address நம்ம எவ்வளவுதான் ஒரு numerical values எவ்வளவுதான் நம்ம ஞாபகம் வச்சிட்டு இருக்க முடியும். So அதுல if you leave a single number or if you change a single number or if you miss a single dot or a single colon means that complete site can't be reached if you are using this IP address. So only we are preferring this domain name service. For that we are providing a naming structure. So in that naming structure only we are having the website name. So adanaladha we are having this website name and all. So how this naming is provided? So இந்த 192 அதெல்லாம் என்ன இருக்கும்னா அந்த host system ஓட ஐடில இருந்து ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகி அந்த ப்ராசஸோட ஐடென்டிஃபையர் வரைக்கும் உங்களுக்கு அந்த ஐபி அட்ரஸ்ல மென்ஷன் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க. ஸோ அந்த ஐபி அட்ரஸை நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணாம we are using this domain name server and all, we are translating it into a website. Okay. Then if you see the routing strategies. So in routing strategies, we are having fixed routing. That is, fixed routing means we are having a system A and a system B. We want to communicate between A and B means in fixed routing, the link will be established between A and B and it can't be adapt to link failures or load changes. So அந்த லிங்க் அந்த A and B க்கு ஏதாவது அந்த லிங்க்ல ஏதாவது ஃபெயிலியர் ஆச்சுன்னா இந்த ஃபிக்ஸ்ட் ரவுட்டிங்ல என்ன பண்ண முடியாது, அடாப்ட் பண்ண முடியாது. அண்ட் லோட் பேலன்சிங்கும் என்ன பண்ண முடியாது, இந்த ஃபிக்ஸ்ட் ரவுட்டிங்ல பண்ண முடியாது. பட் இஃப் யூ see in virtual routing means a path from A to B is fixed during one session. So அந்த செஷன் ஏக்கும் பிக்கும் நம்ம டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர் பண்ணும்போது அந்த ஒரு செஷன்ல என்ன ஆகும், ஃபிக்ஸ்டா இருக்கும். And here it will be a logical route, not a fixed route. In virtual routing, the another one routing mechanism is dynamic routing. So the dynamic routing la enna pandrom, the route is established between one site to another site only when we need to send a message. நம்ம மெசேஜ் சென்ட் பண்ணும்போது மட்டும் அந்த ரூட் வந்து எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ் ஆகும். அது டைனமிக் ரூட்டிங்ல. ஸோ அப்படி நம்ம மெசேஜ் சென்ட் பண்ணும்போது தான் அந்த ரூட் எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ் ஆகுது. ஸோ நம்ம சென்டர்ல இருந்து என்ன ஆகும், மெசேஜஸ் வில் பி சென்ட் இன் டர்ம்ஸ் ஆஃப் பேக்கெட்ஸ். பேக்கெட் மீன்ஸ் நம்ம ஒரு ப்ராசஸ் சென்ட் பண்றோம்னா அந்த ப்ராசஸ் வில் பி ஸ்பிளிட்டட் இன்டு செவரல் ஃபிராக்மெண்ட்ஸ் and it will be named as packets or datagrams and all. So அந்த மாதிரி நம்ம டிரான்ஸ்மிட் பண்றோம். ஸோ இப்போ ரிசீவர் சைட்ல, ஸோ ஆல் தீஸ் வி ஹேவ் ஸ்டடிட் இன் கம்யூனிகேஷன் சிஸ்டம் ஐ ஹோப். ஸோ ரிசீவர் சைடில் என்ன இருக்கணும், வி ஹேவ் டு ஆட் த சீக்வன்ஸ். ஸோ அந்த ப்ராசஸ்ல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஃபிராக்மெண்ட் எது, செகண்ட் ஃபிராக்மெண்ட் எது, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பேக்கெட் எது, செகண்ட் பேக்கெட் எது, தேர்ட் பேக்கெட் எது. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி நம்ம என்ன பண்ணணும், வி நீட் டு ஆட் த சீக்வன்ஸ் நம்பர் இன் கேஸ் ஆஃப் திஸ் டைனமிக் ரவுட்டிங். For this only we'll be maintaining this routers will have the internet address and it will be having a routing table. I hope you all remember Amina has given the example of this routing table in her presentation. So in that routing table we'll be having information about the routing between different systems. So all those systems was represented by means of its ID. That routing table. I hope you all remember that. So for that routing only we'll be using routing protocols. So protocol means it's a set of standard how that communication will be done. In case of routing, dynamic routing and all, we'll be having some protocol. Then if you see packet strategy, as we said, if you are going to send a process to another system means it will be divided into packets. Packet is nothing but fixed length messages. There is a process வந்து ஒரு 100 KB இருந்தா 10 KB 10 KB னு packets split பண்ணலாம். So it is packet னு சொல்லலாம். It is also known as frames or datagrams. Okay. So depending upon the protocol which we are using, we will be having these names. This packet, frames or datagram. Okay. Then if you see the connection strategy, here we are having circuit switching, message switching and packet switching. These connection strategies was explained by Bhavadharni. I hope you all remember her video. So in circuit switching, what is happening? If two process wants to communicate means it provides a physical link between them. In circuit switching, there will be a physical link between the two processes, and then if the link is allocated only during the communicating time only, the link will be allocated, and another process and all is not allowed to use that link during that particular communication period. So ரெண்டு process ரெண்டு system communicate பண்ணணும். A system and B system wants to communicate means in case of the circuit switching, a communication link will be provided between A and B. This physical link will be provided. So அந்த communication நடக்கிற வரைக்கும் வேற எந்த லிங்க் என்ன பண்ண முடியாது, கம்யூனிகேட் அந்த கம்யூனிகேஷன் லிங்கை யூஸ் பண்ண முடியாது. It is similar to your phone call. It is if you see if you're calling a person, for example, if you're calling a person A, B is calling a person A means, so அந்த B-யும் A-யும் கம்யூனிகேஷன் பேசிட்டு இருக்க வரைக்கும் வேற எந்த காலுமே கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ண முடியாது. until அந்த காலை கட் பண்ணிட்டு வேற கால் பண்ற வரைக்கும் எதுவுமே பண்ண முடியாது. So like this we are having this circuit switching. Next we are having message switching. So in this message switching, a temporary link will be provided between the communicating nodes. Circuit switching la physical link இருக்கும். So இங்க temporary link தான் provide பண்ணிருக்கோம். So that temporary link will be for a short period of time, and here the messages will be sent. So along with the message, அந்த messageல என்னெல்லாம் send பண்ணுவோம்னா source means which system is going to send the message, and destination means எந்த சிஸ்டம்க்கு அந்த மெசேஜ் போகணும், as well as error correction code. So while transmitting this message, we may have some corruption of the message. நம்ம நெட்வொர்க்ல தான் டிரான்ஸ்மிட் பண்ண போறோம், either it may be wired or wireless. So அந்த மாதிரி டிரான்ஸ்மிட் பண்ணும்போது என்ன ஆகலாம், டேட்டா கரெக்ட் ஆக சான்ஸ் இருக்கு. To avoid that only we are having error correction code. So this is in case of message switching. So it is similar to your post office mailing. So if you have mail பண்ணிருந்தீங்க என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க, you will be giving the sender detail and the receiver detail, and that message will be there. Like this only in message switching, the source ID and the destination ID, along with that one more thing what will be provided, error correction code also will be provided in message switching. It is to preserve the message whether it is corrupted or not. Okay. So here in this message switching, many messages can be transmitted over a same link. So in circuit switching and all what we saw, so in one link, one physical link, unless the connection is terminated, another one can't participate. Here in message switching, the same link can be used by several systems. So only we are saying in that message passing mechanism, we need to include the source and destination details also. So அப்பதான் மெசேஜ் யார்ட்ட இருந்து எந்த சிஸ்டம்க்கு போகுது, so அந்த மாதிரி டீடைல்ஸ்ல இந்த மெசேஜ் ஸ்விட்சிங்ல அவைலபிளா இருக்கும். Next if you see packet switching. So in packet switching, already we said that the message will be logically divided into packets. So packets are divide பண்ணிட்டு நம்ம சென்ட் பண்றோம். So சென்டர்ல இருந்து ரிசீவருக்கு சென்ட் ஆகும்போது, so the packets may be order change ஆகலாம். So at that time the process may be reassembled and it can be used. So இங்க நம்ம எதை சென்ட் பண்ண போறோம், ஒரு ப்ராசஸ் தான் சென்ட் பண்ண போறோம். So இந்த reassemble பண்றதுனால we don't have that much drawback in this case of packet switching. So if we compare all these means, all these three types of connection strategies means, circuit switching requires some setup time. So because we said in circuit switching, two nodes want to communicate means a physical link will be created. So it requires a setup time. And then if you see so setup time as well as network bandwidth will also be wasted. ஏன்னா நம்ம என்ன சொன்னோம், circuit switchingல ஒரு two nodes communicate பண்ணும்போது so அந்த லிங்கை வேற எதுவுமே யூஸ் பண்ணக்கூடாது. So அப்போ அந்த network bandwidth வந்து என்ன ஆகுது, it is fixed for the two nodes itself, and another nodes can't communicate using that physical link. So we are wasting that network bandwidth. So அந்த வந்து bandwidth நம்ம வந்து என்ன பண்றோம், waste பண்றோம். So all these things we might have studied in communication. So only I'm not briefing it up. So next in message and packet switching and all will require less setup time, because we are going to establish only a dynamic connection. Only when we are going to send that message, only we are going to establish, and using that communication link, we can send another message for another system also. Then what do you mean by contention? So in this case and all, what we said, using a communication link, two or more process can be transmitted. So அப்ப என்ன பண்றோம்? So A க்கும் B க்கும் ஒரு communication link இருக்கு. So அப்போ two or more messages can be transmitted through that link. So for that only we are having several topologies. Star, ring, bus topology la நமக்கு available இருக்கு. So அங்க என்ன பண்றோம்? நம்ம communication provide பண்ண போறோம் between different nodes. So அந்த மாதிரி communicate பண்ணும்போது ஒரு லிங்க்ல ஒரு நோடுக்கு மெசேஜ் சென்ட் பண்றோம். So அதே டைம்ல வேற ஏதாவது ஒரு மெசேஜ் சென்ட் ஆகும்போது there may be a collision. I hope this collision and all you might have studied in your communication system. So for that collision detection and all, we are having some mechanism here also similar to your communication system. So contention என்ன சொல்றோம்? So ஒவ்வொரு network topology depend பண்ணி link may connect more than two sites in a computer network, and we are having several ways for communication also. So in that situation, one data may be sent in that communication link. At the same time, another data may come in the opposite direction and it may collide. That is known as contention. So using that, we may have loss of data. So A ல இருந்து B க்கு போற டேட்டா, B ல இருந்து C க்கு போற டேட்டா ரெண்டுமே கன்ஃபியூஸ் ஆகி வேற வேற டேட்டா போறதுக்கு சான்ஸ் இருக்கு. So அந்த சிச்சுவேஷன் தான் contention சொல்றோம். So how to avoid this contention problem? If you see means, for that we are having this CSMA CD. So all these you might have studied in communication system only. So here the technology which we are using is CSMA CD means carrier sense with multiple access collision detection. So we're going to detect whether there is a collision in it. So how this collision detection is done here means, so first before transmitting a data through a communication link, what we'll be seeing means the link is free. அந்த லிங்க் ஃப்ரீயா இருந்தா மட்டும் என்ன பண்றோம்? நம்ம கம்யூனிகேட் பண்றோம், அந்த டேட்டாவை டிரான்ஸ்மிட் பண்றோம். லிங்க் ஃப்ரீயா இல்லைன்னா என்ன பண்றோம்? we need to wait. லிங்க் ஃப்ரீயா இருக்கிற வரைக்கும் நம்ம வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு ஃப்ரீ ஆனதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் என்ன பண்ணுவோம்? we'll be transmitting data to that link. Okay, for example, if you see, so at a time, same time, simultaneous two different system check பண்றாங்க லிங்க் ஃப்ரீயா இருக்கான்னு. so simultaneous timeல செக் பண்ணும்போது என்ன ஆகும்? ரெண்டுமே ஒரே டைம்ல செக் பண்றாங்க, அப்போ லிங்க் ஃப்ரீயா தான் இருக்கு. சோ லிங்க் ஃப்ரீயா இருந்தோட சைமல்டேனியஸா டேட்டாவும் சென்ட் பண்றாங்க. சோ அப்போ என்ன ஆகும்? there will be a collision and it will be detected. so அப்போ this will be detected by this CSMA CD and thus our transmission will be stopped for some period of time. After that, again the sender will be asked to send the message to the communication link. Okay, this is CSMA CD, that is carrier sense with multiple access collision detection. So another one method to avoid contention is token passing. So token passing means here in this token passing, what will be done means a token will be continuously circulated. So we have seen the star network or bus network or ring network. We are having different computer systems connected. So a token will be transmitted along the communication path. So in the communication path என்ன பண்றோம்? token transmit பண்றோம். So in that communication path, for example, I'm having 5 computing nodes, 1 2 3 4 5. So the token will be passed from 1 to 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, and then again to 1. Like that, it may be passed if you are having a ring structure. So I am saying, if the node 2 wants to communicate means, what it will do means, when this node 2 receives a token, it will hold the token. என்ன பண்ணும்? அந்த டோக்கன் வந்து நோட் 2க்கு போனோடனே அந்த நோட் 2 வந்து என்ன பண்ணாது? அந்த டோக்கனை பாஸ் பண்ணாம அதை ஹோல்ட் பண்ணிரும். ஹோல்ட் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் என்ன பண்ணும்? it will communicate. So at that time this node 2 can communicate or it can send data to node 4. So the token pass பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கும்போது எந்த நோட் கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ணணுமோ that node will hold that token. So அப்ப என்ன ஆகுது அதே டைம்ல நோட் 3யும் கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ணணும்னு நினைச்சா நோட் 3க்கு டோக்கன் இல்ல. So அப்ப என்ன நினைக்கும் நோட் 3 some other system or some other computing nodes is in communication. So அதனால என்ன பண்ணாது இந்த node 3 won't transmit the data. Likewise we can avoid this token collision by using this token passing mechanism. So நம்ம token pass பண்றோம். So எந்த node communication பண்ணணுமோ அந்த node என்ன பண்ணும் the token hold பண்ணிட்டு it will be establishing the communication link and it will be communicating. So other nodes if you want to communicate means it should wait until it is having the token. Token அது கையில வர வரைக்கும் என்ன பண்ணணும் wait பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கணும். So this token passing mechanism is used by IBM, HP system and all uses this token passing mechanism because it has somewhat advantages compared to the other one and its performance is also constant. So this token passing will be suitable if you are having few computing nodes. So 5 nodes இருக்குமோ suitable 100 nodes இருக்கு. So அப்ப என்ன பண்ணும் அந்த token வந்து first nodeல இருந்து 100 node வரைக்கும் pass ஆறதுக்கே it will take a long amount of time. So அப்ப என்ன ஆகும் அந்த 98th node கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ணணும். So first nodeல token இருக்கு. So அது கம்யூனிகேட் பண்றது வரைக்கும் என்ன ஆகும் வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கும். So there will be a delay in communication. So in that case, this token passing will be a drawback. So for that only they are saying this Ethernet is more efficient, but it is limited to a short distance only. And then everyone listen. This failure detection is a very important thing, and in this failure detection we may have some problem also. So everyone listen carefully. So here in this failure detection, if you see. So நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம் ஒரு மெசேஜ் டிரான்ஸ்மிட் பண்ண போறோம் between several nodes. For example, I'm having two nodes A and B. I need to transmit a message from node A to node B. So அப்படி நான் மெசேஜ் டிரான்ஸ்மிட் பண்ணும்போது என்ன ஆகலாம் அந்த மெசேஜ் லாஸ்ட் ஆகலாம் இல்ல அந்த கம்யூனிகேஷன் லிங்க்ல ஏதோ ஒரு ஃபெயிலியர் இருக்கலாம் இல்ல அந்த நோடே என்ன ஆகலாம் ஃபெயிலியர் ஆகலாம். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி எங்க ஃபெயிலியர் அக்கரா இருக்கு அந்த கம்யூனிகேஷன் லிங்க்ல ஃபெயிலியர் ஆக்கரா இருக்கா இல்ல அந்த கம்யூனிகேட்டிங் நோடு தான் என்ன சொல்றோம் சைட்னு சொல்றோம். Okay, whether there's a failure in the site. So to find that, to detect the failure, this is communication structure. We are having handshaking procedure. Handshaking procedure means it's similar to your handshaking only. So at a fixed interval of time, so every nodes will send a message. I am up, I am up. So ஒரு 5 millisecond once என்ன பண்ணும் ஒவ்வொரு கம்ப்யூட்டிங் நோடும் I am up, I am upனு ஒரு மெசேஜ் சென்ட் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கும் ஒரு fixed interval of timeக்கு. Okay, so அந்த I am up message அந்த நோட்ல இருந்து வரலனா என்ன அர்த்தம் that node is failed. அந்த நோட்ல இருந்து ஏதோ ஒரு ஃபெயிலியர் ஆகறாகி அந்த நோட் ஃபெயில் ஆயிட்டுன்னு மீனிங். சோ அந்த நோட் செக் பண்றதுக்கு நோட் ஃபெயிலியரா இல்ல நம்ம செக் பண்றதுக்கு நம்ம என்ன மெசேஜ் கான்ஸ்டன்ட்டா during a fixed time interval என்ன மெசேஜ் சென்ட் பண்ற மாதிரி இருக்கும் I am up message. Okay, so here if you see means I am considering an example. If site A doesn't receive a message, so A க்கும் B க்கும் communication link இருக்கு. B வந்து A க்கு மெசேஜ் சென்ட் பண்ணும்போது A ட்ட வந்து என்ன வரல மெசேஜே வரல. சோ அப்ப என்னென்ன பாசிபிலிட்டிஸ்லாம் இருக்கலாம் மெசேஜ் வராததுக்கு என்ன ஃபெயிலியர்லாம் இருக்கலாம். One possible condition is the site B is failed. The site B மெசேஜ் சென்ட் பண்ற அந்த site B என்ன பண்ணிருக்கலாம் ஃபெயிலியர் ஆச்சுன்னா மெசேஜ் வந்து டிரான்ஸ்மிட் ஆயிருக்காது. And அல்லனா என்ன ஆகலாம் the link between A and B has failed. Site B fail ஆயிருக்கலாம் இல்ல communication link between site B and A can be failed. Or என்ன ஆகலாம் the message from B can be lost. B ல இருந்து A க்கு வர வழியில மெசேஜ் என்ன ஆகிக்கலாம் lost ஆயிருக்கலாம். So we are having three possibility. If this site A doesn't receive the message means there is a three possibility of failure. We need to check. So this topic is not discussed by anyone in the seminar. So everyone listen, and it's also an important one. So this failure detection, if you see means, so how we can detect a failure? For that I am considering here. So I am taking So at a particular point of time, I'm saying this site A can wait for another message. I am up from B. நம்ம என்ன சொன்னோம்? So ஒவ்வொரு communication நோடும் ஒரு fixed interval of timeல என்ன பண்ணும்? I am up message send பண்ணும். So அப்ப என்ன பண்ணலாம்? Site A க்கு அந்த 3 problemல site B failure இல்ல அந்த communication link fail ஆயிட்டா இல்ல மெசேஜ் டிரான்ஸ்மிட் ஆகும்போது in that pathwayல மெசேஜ் லாஸ் ஆயிட்டா. So எதனால மெசேஜ் லாஸ் ஆயிட்டுன்னு தெரியாது. So அதுக்கு என்ன பண்ணலாம்? Site A may wait for a some time. I am up மெசேஜ் வருதா இல்லையான்னு என்ன பண்ணலாம்? வெயிட் பண்ணலாம். So அப்படி வரலன்னா என்ன பண்ணலாம்? The site A can send are you up message to site B. Okay. So this I am up message will be sent by every nodes during a fixed interval of time. If that message is not received means what they can send? They can send are you up message. So this A can send are you up message and check whether this B is alive or not, or it is failed or not. So are you up message ku reply I am up message varalna, we can make it sure that the site B is failed. Okay. As well as site B you fail ஆயிருக்கலாம், as well as the communication link fail ஆயிருக்கலாம். The site A can differentiate between the link and site by sending another route. So நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம்? நம்ம ஒரு ரூட்ல எப்படி A க்கு B க்கு கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ணமோ சோ அதே இதுல REF மெசேஜ் நம்ம சென்ட் பண்றோம். சோ அந்த கம்யூனிகேஷன் லிங்க் ஃபெயில் ஆயிருந்தா என்ன ஆகலாம்? சைட் B யும் ஃபெயில் ஆயிருக்கலாம், இல்ல அந்த லிங்க் ஃபெயிலியர்னால அந்த B சென்ட் பண்ற மெசேஜ் A க்கு வரலாம இருக்கலாம், இல்ல A சென்ட் பண்ற மெசேஜ் B க்கு போகாம இருக்கலாம். சோ அப்ப என்ன பண்ணும்? The site A may send that REF message using another route. வேற ஒரு ரூட்ல என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க? This A will send the message to B REF message. So அந்த ரூட்ல போயும் reply B ல இருந்து வரலனா என்ன ஆகும்? It will confirmly decide that site B is failed. So இப்படி வேற another ரூட்ல போய் உங்களுக்கு reply message from site B வந்ததுன்னா என்ன ஆகும்? The communication link only has failed. Okay. Like this, we can differentiate whether the communication link is failed or that particular site itself is failed. So in the madri and the where route la send pani vanduchuna, if B replies means then what will happen? B is alive and the failure is between only the direct link. Okay. Likewise, you can check where there is a failure. So like this, we'll be having a problem in this unit. Okay. So if we are having a failure means what we have to do? We have to reconfigure. For this only we are performing reconfiguration. So here, if a direct link from A to B is failed. So the direct link on the fail aachi. Communication link eda fail aayittu. So in that distributed system, we may have A, B, C, D, E. Up to E, we may have some nodes. Okay. So A to B ko on the link fail aayitna, it should inform another nodes that the link between A to B is failed. Suppose if C wants to communicate to A, then it may use that A to B link. So appa enna pannalam? Same failure may occur there also. Adhe communication link enna agalam? Fail aayirkalam. So that நம்ம reconfigure பண்ணும்போது என்ன பண்றோம்? This information should be broadcasted to every site. Broadcasting means it is saying to every site in that particular system. E site வரைக்கும் இருக்குன்னா so A, B, C, D, E. So எல்லா சைட்டுக்கு என்ன இன்ஃபார்ம் பண்றாங்க? That particular link is failed and that is updated in the routing table. We are having a routing table. So அந்த link fail ஆச்சுன்னா அந்த link fail ன்னு சொல்லி எதுல அப்டேட் பண்றாங்க? routing tableலயும் அப்டேட் பண்றாங்க. So இது வந்து என்னது? Link fail ஆச்சா? If the site has itself is failed means it is also notified in the system so that that particular site won't be used by another site also. So இப்போ வந்து B site தான் fail ஆச்சுன்னா இப்போ C வந்து B க்கு ஏதாவது கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ணணும்னா என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க? அது யூஸ் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. ஏன்னா ஆல்ரெடி B வந்து fail ஆயிட்டு. So this link, direct link between A to B fail ஆச்சுனாலும் it should broadcast to other sites in the system and the routing table is updated. And the site B fail ஆனாலும் it should be informed to another sites in the system so that there won't be any failure of the sites hereafter. So the failure site la endha or task allocate பண்ணாம remaining உள்ள site வச்சு efficient perform பண்ணலாம். This is reconfiguration. So this thing is very important. So in this, they may ask some problem, okay? So I hope everyone understood this. Maximum இதுல எல்லாமே நீங்க communication systemல படிச்சிருப்பீங்க handshaking procedure. Here that name only is varying. I am up message or RU up message. I am up message means whether that site is alive or not. RU up message means we are checking it again and again. Okay. So we in this class we have revised about the topics which your friends have taken seminar in this distributed system, network operating system, communication strategies and routing strategy. And then we have studied about some new topics, that is failure detection, as well as this contention also is new to you. I hope the CSMA, CD and token passing and all your friends haven't dealt in the seminar topic. So I have said about all these things in this class also. Okay. So anyone has any doubt in today's topic can ask me. So in the last part, failure detection, there will be a problem.